WWE 2K17 removed more features such as Showcase Mode and sold them as DLC. There were certainly some missteps with 2K17, but how does 2K18 fare? Let's find out. This is a backstage brawl between Kurt Angle and RVD as they are trading blows backstage. That was actually a really cool way to start the match, I guess. A backstage brawl is a new match type in this year's game that allows you to explore this backstage long corridor, essentially, with all these interactive objects, and you can do pretty much anything in this area. There's all these interactable objects, all these cases. You can jump off of them, you can throw your opponents into them, you can really do whatever you want. There's like rooms off to the side. You can meet people as you go through the doors. You can like throw your opponent into like lockers and tables and chairs and boxes, and even at the end of the hallway there you can see Renee Paquette. I can't remember her WWE name, but she is interviewing Dean Ambrose, her husband, which is really weird. But yes, this is 2K17. We are seeing Kurt Angle and Rob Van Dam going at it backstage here. Oh, this is actually a little bit different from the modern version. There's this whole area over here, which, oh no, that is, oh, security running for the hills. That is in the game now. But you have this car parking lot area over here as well, which is also very, very cool. Now, one thing I didn't like about these backstage areas in this specific game and all future games moving forward is the fact that a lot of the moves that you can do actually get removed from these match types. Essentially, when you do move in these backstage areas, it'll change it to a more appropriate backstage area type move. And I find that really annoying because I just want to like slam people. I want to do really cool moves backstage, and sometimes you just end up like throwing your opponent and stuff, and it does like a punch that ends up like pushing your opponent really far back, and it's cool enough. It's cool. It's fine. I just would have maybe preferred like the Here Comes the Pain style, the SmackDown vs. Raw style, where you're backstage and you're in these really cool different environments, but it doesn't actually change anything in the match. You still get to do all the regular matches or regular moves that you would be doing normally. 2K18 also features a revamped graphics system. I mean, that is a fair point. It is actually a little bit better this year. They've revamped the lighting system, and I think they've improved some of the character models, and according to the developers, this was a NBA 2K-like experience. I personally would probably disagree with that. I think the NBA games have always looked a little bit better than the WWE games, but either way, I mean, the game still looks awesome. It's not like it looks terrible by any stretch. There might be a few bad character models here and there, as RVD can't decide which side of the car to fall on. But overall, oh my god, I thought Kurt was going to kill. If RVD was against that door and that box get thrown into him, that would have been really cool. I don't even know if you can you even do that in the game now? I don't think you can. I don't think that option is available to you. He's going to throw Kurt into that metal truss. It looks like you can maybe climb that, judging from the camera angle here. If RVD, oh my god, if RVD could do a 5-star frog splash off of the truss, I thought he was about to do that there. That would have been sick as hell. I think he's going to go for this box instead now. Is he going to, he's going to throw it. Oh, never mind. He just repositioned it. You also can't hear them, but there is a revamp to the audio system in this game. This game features the first time Byron Saxton, Michael Cole, and Corey Graves is the 3-person announce team in this game. Now, nowadays, I would complain that that is completely out of date. But in 2K17, it was perfectly reasonable. Byron Saxton was a commentator at that time. Corey Graves had just broke out of NXT, and I think he was on Raw, and Michael Cole's been the voice of WWE for the last 20-odd years. Perfectly reasonable for the 3-person commentary team this year. They totally revamped it. I think it's awesome. It does depress me to think that 10 years on, we still have that commentary system, and it's okay to have that commentary system and build upon it, but I do think that they need to change that in the current games, because Kurt with a suplex there, I do think it is quite out of date now. So even though it was relevant for this game, it is no longer relevant in the current games. I thought, the box just nudged RVD back to his feet there. There's also a revamped crowd system, apparently. The crowd animations and crowd systems and audios and stuff is all different in this game. We're not in an environment where you can see or hear the crowd, mind you. You can hear them a little bit, but we can't see them. So I'm hoping whatever next match we choose, we'll be able to see some of those new crowd animations. Although saying that, going back to some of those earlier games that we have been doing, I do think that some of the earlier crowd animations in like 2K15 look amazing. So, and I don't feel like that is in the game now. Kurt with the angle slam, getting the win on RVD. And I think that is the perfect opportunity for us to go look at the game modes offered in 2K18. So the main menu this year offers a full 3D environment with this ring, and you've got cool lighting, and there's some like animation going on here. So the one I had when I started the game earlier on was Samoa Joe and Seth Rollins, but now that I've come out of the Backstage Brawl, we're now seeing Seth Rollins and Triple H. So in the main menu here, as you go through the different menus, you're going to actually change different camera angles. So you've got the stage in the background as well. This was the weekly stage at that time. It has no graphics on it though, which is a little bit weird, but I guess it keeps the focus on the guys in the ring and the options that are available to you. And I guess if you had graphics on the backstage there, it probably would get a little bit distracting. So if we back out of this, I think it's going to take us to another camera angle, and that's generally just how this main menu works. So the options we have here in the main menu, we have Play, which is your general exhibition. We also have MyPlayer, which is a story-based thing. I don't remember if MyPlayer has like specific full cutscenes or not. I need to delve into it more. I think it is more just like you get challenges from the authority, and based on those challenges you can either accept or refuse them. I think you do get cutscenes based on that, but I don't remember if it leads into some big narrative arc or not. I just can't remember, apologies. WWE Universe makes its return. We'll be talking about that shortly. I don't know if there's any specific updates to Universe Mode this year, considering that Universe Mode very rarely gets any major upgrades. I'm going to say no, but we will get into that more shortly. And of course, your WWE creations and community creations appear here as well. Again, they are very, very similar to all the other 2K creation suites available. You've got all your traditional arena, moveset, entrance, superstar, all the rest of it are all here as you would expect. You do, of course, have the community creations as well. So they are unfortunately offline nowadays, so you won't be able to access the community creations nowadays. But at the time, it was available alongside WWE Online, which is your online mode where you get things like live events and stuff. But again, servers are offline, not an option anymore. My WWE offers you the chance to change the way that things like exhibition play out. You can create teams, you can look at your statistics, you can edit superstar stats, and you can change who has the titles, and that will just change the play mode. It will change the exhibition mode, so you can choose who is the champions at the time, and you can, you know, if you were like me and you wanted to create a specific match type with a specific champion or whatever, you can do that here as well. You have your general options, store, and extra. Probably don't need to go into them, but options, obviously your game options. Store is where you'll be able to buy your DLC, your season pass, and extras is where you can access things like the credits, the manual, the jukebox, because this game has a lot of licensed music, and for PC specifically, you can do the benchmark so you know which graphics options you might want to choose. Judging from what I'm reading online, there isn't a huge change to the way the exhibition plays out. Matches do play out mostly the same as 2K17. The only exception this year is they have gone fully next gen. There is no previous gen version, i.e. there is no PS3 version, there's no Xbox 360 version holding this game back. It's now fully on PS4 and Xbox One, and as a result, they can finally move into having 8-man matches. Now, this was a limitation of the previous generation consoles, but now that they have moved forward, we can get 8-person matches, which makes things like Battle Royals or Royal Rumbles so much more exciting. Royal Rumbles especially have been completely reworked in this game. Maybe we should have a look at that shortly, I'm not really sure, but the Royal Rumble match now plays out similar to how you have it in 2K25, where you can get eliminated essentially at any moment, and you can have 8 people in the ring at any time. This game also features the new Elimination Chamber match as well, which plays out exactly the same as the previous Elimination Chamber. It just has the new style chamber, which is a bit more of a square than the original circle design. The one thing that this game has over maybe the others, depending on whether you like it or not, the game has game style renders for the characters, so they aren't just They aren't just the real life renders of these characters, they are the in-game models as part of the renders. So whether you like that or not is entirely up to you. I personally prefer the real life renders because I think the game ones in these positions look a bit goofy. Let's have a look at some of the new people available in 2K18 that were not available in 2K17. So first off, we have Akam and Rizar, who were big part of AOP, the Authors of Pain. They were in NXT and this was their debut game. They're not with the company anymore. They got let go like a year or so ago. But yeah, they were here as part of NXT alongside the debuting Akira Tozawa. I'll have to hide my camera here, but Akira Tozawa, part of the roster this year for the first time, as well as a DLC character, Aleister Black. I don't think I actually have Aleister Black installed. I do not. So we don't have access to Aleister Black, but that's okay. This is also the first game to have Alexander Wolf appear in the game. He is part of Sanity, I believe, from NXT as well. You also have Batista 10, who was a part of the deluxe edition of the game, alongside Beth Phoenix, who was DLC. I don't have any of the DLC on here, really. That's kind of lame. We have Billie Kay from the Iconics debuting here. I'm actually not sure she was Iconic at this point. I think she was just Billie Kay, but her face looks terrifying. We also have Bobby Roode debuting here. I presume this is Glorious Bobby Roode. I don't see why it wouldn't be. Wow, okay, thank you for the subscribe, Devante. I'm not even live, I'm just recording, but thank you for that. We also have Cedric Alexander appearing for the first time in 2K18, alongside Kurt Hawkins. I like this return of Kurt Hawkins. He had the bat, and I remember, was it not that he got put through like a... I have vague memories of him being put through some table that had lots of food on it by Braun Strowman, and I think that was like a big part of his character at that time. We also have DLC of Drew McIntyre and Elias, but I don't seem to have the DLC for some reason. I don't know. I thought I had it installed, but I guess not. We also have Ember Moon appearing here. She is obviously now known as Athena, and I think she's maybe the Ring of Honor Women's World Champion or something, but either way, she's been doing awesome work, and I don't really understand why WWE ever got rid of her. I think she's amazing as she is. Talking of amazing, we have Eric Young from Sanity. We have Grand Metalik here, who I feel like I've heard recently. Is he part of AAA? I think he was in AAA. We also have Gentleman Jack Gallagher, who maybe the less said the better. DLC also included Jeff Hardy. That's also very, very cool, because Jeff is not in the game anymore and he's signed to TNA, but there are, of course, rumors that Jeff could appear in future WWE games if they can get the license all sorted out. We have, of course, the greatest WWE champion of all time, Jinder Mahal. This is his first game here, alongside a NXT version of Johnny Gargano. We also have Cassius Ohno. Now, of course, we know him, or you may not know him, but a lot of people know him as Chris Hero, and he's had some amazing matches, especially with the likes of CM Punk and basically any indie wrestler you can think of. Someone like a Antonio Cesaro or something. Chris Hero, obviously a really big part of independent wrestling, and I've heard at the time he was a big part of like training people at NXT. He may still be there, I'm not really sure, but yeah, very cool to have him in the game regardless. Also shout outs to K98, because K98 does not always appear in these games. Capping off the Sanity addition to the game, we have Killian Dane. Of course, we know him here in Scotland and Ireland as Big Damo, but Killian Dane was, of course, a part of NXT for quite a while, and he was a part of Sanity as well. The pre-order bonus, 2 versions of Kurt Angle. We have Kurt Angle 01 and Kurt Angle 06. You got a very quick look at them in the first match there. I really love that Kurt Angle 06 model, and I don't know, they keep using the Kurt Angle 01 model, and it just, the face doesn't look right to me. I recently watched his King of the Ring match with Shane McMahon, and the Kurt Angle 01 model does not represent that Kurt Angle in the slightest. It's just I don't know, the face looks off. It's like it's the old Kurt Angle face on the young body, and that's just weird to me. We also have a DLC Lars Sullivan. Sorry, I feel like the sky was the limit for Lars. I don't really know what happened, but apparently he's like a right whack job. So maybe he's best not being in WWE at the moment. We also have Maurice making her debut here. Of course, not to diminish her achievements, but we obviously know her now as the Miz's wife, but she is a former WWE Divas champion as well. DLC also included Matt Hardy, so you had the full Hardy, cohort. You had the two of them. I think Lita's in this game as well, so you would, she's on the screen right there. So you would have Team Extreme if you did want to do the 3-person team. You have Mickie James returning here. I'm assuming this is based off of her NXT. Was it NXT Toronto? She returned to an NXT takeover, so that's why she appears here in this game. Another inclusion to the game here is Nick Miller. Now, I don't recognize the name. I don't know if he's part of... It was like an Australian tag team or something. It wasn't like TM61 or something. It was like something else. That's TM61 is in New Japan. I feel like he was in a tag team, but I cannot for the life of me remember who it was. And I got it right here. I've got the profile. He's Australian. I just don't know who he is, I guess. Apologies, I misspoke earlier. We're not done with Sanity yet. Sanity was a huge part of NXT at that time, and of course Nikki Cross, also a big part of Sanity. Nowadays, we know her as Sister Abigail, but she did get her start in WWE as within Sanity as Nikki Cross as well. We also have No Way Jose. Of course, I always loved No Way Jose. I always loved what he was doing with his gimmick. He was a good Riot in NXT. I don't know necessarily if it would have translated very well onto the main roster, but it was working in NXT, and there's no shame in that. We also have Noam Dar here. Maybe this is Cruiserweight Classic time. I don't really know, but Noam Dar here, of course, representing Scotland. Paul Ellering appears in this game as part of he's a manager for AOP, the Authors of Pain, and he is not selectable, unfortunately, for in-ring competition, same as Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman's not new to this game, but he is a manager only, so you can't actually take him into matches, sadly. We have Peyton Royce, the other half of the Iconics. She's here in her Poison Ivy looking gear. I don't think, I'm not convinced this is Iconics, but it very well could be. We have the other half. We have the other half of the Authors of Pain here. We have Razor alongside the Man Beast Rhino. This is definitely his run with Heath Slater here with the Tag Team Championship. So very cool that Rhino made it into this game alongside Rich Swans. This is definitely 205 Live. This is definitely, maybe not Cruiserweight Classic, but definitely 205 Live. And we get a retro one that doesn't appear very often. Rick the Model Martel. Not one that appears very often. I actually think I saw an interview with him recently on YouTube. So maybe he's, poked his head out of the bushes for the first time in a long time, but he is in this game, so that's a little bit odd. DLC inclusions are also Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson. So that is another tag team to add to your universe mode, but part of the deluxe edition with the We've Seen Enough edition, which is, of course, about John Cena's greatest enemies. Rob Van Dam is part of that, and we saw RVD in that introductory match there alongside Roderick Strong. Now this is not I don't want to speak incorrectly, but this is not a Undisputed Era Roderick Strong. This is just generic wrestler Roderick Strong. DLC also included Ruby Riott. Of course, I don't have the DLC, but it's very cool that Ruby Riott made it into this game. We have Sawyer Fulton, who is, again, another member of Sanity, but I don't remember if he stuck around. I think he got replaced by somebody else. I don't think he stuck around for very long. But talking to people who didn't stick around very long, we have Shane Thorne here. He's the other half of the tag team guy with, what was that, Nick Miller or whatever his name was. So Shane Thorne and Nick Miller. But yeah, they were an amazing tag team, and they were both Australian. I cannot remember the tag team name, but I'm sure the comments will keep me right. We have TNA's own TJ Perkins, TJP, who has honestly like the greatest entrance music of all time in WWE. It's so fucking awesome. He also played Suicide in TNA. If you didn't know that, that's a very nice little fact about TJP. But he is right next to Tommaso Ciampa, of course. Tommaso Ciampa debuting here from NXT, and of course he's positioned, I know it's alphabetical, but of course he's positioned right next to potentially his dad, Triple H. I hate these models. I hate these Triple H models. They always do the Triple H 01 model, but it just doesn't look right. It looks like the modern Triple H with long hair, and it doesn't look right. And this model of 1998 Triple H doesn't look right at all. That hair, well, actually 1998, that probably is right. So I'm just reading up here on the My Career, or I guess MyPlayer mode, right? Because there is no My Career here, but My Career mode in 2K18 delivers a new MyPlayer experience. So of course, MyPlayer is the character you make for, well, MyPlayer, My Career, I guess. Introducing a brand new upgrade progression system. It does feature a story which is more concise and narrative driven, featuring branching paths and never before a series of matches like in previous years. So they do have a storyline with it this year. You can also have free roaming backstage, allowing you to talk and attack other WWE superstars. Each MyPlayer also has a choice of 8 fighting styles to determine who their what their character plays like. I mean, this is all normal nowadays: giant, high flyer, brawler, technician, but they are exclusive to the MyPlayer system. Alongside the MyPlayer storyline, or I guess My Career, there is also a upgrade to the promo system, and there is also an invasion system that allows you to interact with your friends' characters. Now, I don't really know, like, you wouldn't be able to play the invasion angle anyway, and I don't really know how the promo system works in this game, but we can certainly have a look at it shortly. Probably more so in the universe mode part of the video, but this is how MyPlayer works, at least in this game. I did not know about the free roam though for 2K18, so I think in a season mode Sunday, I think we're going to have to pick up 2K18 and see how it plays. Alright, let's have a look at universe mode. So we are going to launch a completely fresh universe mode, see how it looks from when you start up a brand new game save here. So this is what it looks like. It is literally the same as the previous year. You've still got the squares. It looks very much the same. So the only difference is immediately here is the power rankings. Now this is a new system that is in this game, but to say it's new is a little bit of a misnomer because it does exist in previous games as the Power 25. So if you've ever played GM mode in the previous WWE games, there was definitely a ranking system, but in universe mode they have added in this new ranking system. So each show has the option of 3 rivalries, so that's actually been improved in recent years. But we can see here we have the option to have 1-on-1, 2-on-2. We have short, medium, and long rivalries with the intensity. You're going to see that this looks very similar to what is available in the game now, and that's okay. It was okay then, it's not okay now. But you'll see, like, I've been complaining the fact that universe mode gets no updates year on year, and genuinely as we get through these next 2 key games, you're going to see that there just isn't really that much going on here. So we've got an episode of Raw here. I think if we go into it, it's playing the introduction, so I'm curious to see if there is going to be like a show intro with Pyro. Okay, you can skip it, and it's going to go into Pyro. So there is a Pyro intro, and it looks really cool actually with, well, there isn't really much going on here. Oh man, actually the Pyro looks really good compared to some of the game, like the Pyro in the games now. That looks awesome. But when the Pyro, oh, you know what? I don't know if you can hear that in the video, but I heard it when the Pyro finished. It went straight into the music, the chorus of the song, and it pans the crowd here with all their signs. You know what? Points for getting the show intro right there, because the show intro is a really important part of enjoying universe mode. And honestly, I think something like the show intros need to come back. They really, really, really need to come back. Here we go. So SmackDown has a show opener with Jinder Mahal on promo. So I don't know how I feel about Jinder Mahal on promo. I don't think it's something we necessarily want to see, but let's give it a go and see what Jinder has to say in the show open here. Of course, we are going to watch this opening, or the opening video is loading here. We're going to see how SmackDown opens with its Pyro. Oh, that's a lot more. That's already more involved than the Raw one, because it doesn't just have constant like fireballs. But yeah, no, that is very cool. Again, when you reach the end of the Pyro, it kicks into the chorus and the lights come on, and you can see the camera panning around the crowd. You get the town as well. This is all really nice details, and I don't understand why it's not available in the game now, but I'll stop talking about it. I'll stop talking about it. So again, just like the previous video, I'm not gonna control Jinder. I'm just gonna let him rant. I'm gonna let him go, and we can see what he says in his promo and see if it is actually any good. Jinder Mahal making his entrance here on WWE SmackDown Live, fighting with the crowd as he comes out. This, I think, is the same entrance that probably every heel has in Universe mode if they're cutting a promo, but let's see if Jinder can win the crowd over. I have no idea what he's going to say or even who he's going to go after, but the floor is his. He's got 3 minutes. So, oh, I'm going to get a tutorial. So this is the promo HUD. Again, we talked about this in the previous video. The top left is you can see how your promo performance is going. So the yellow bar shows the points you've earned so far. The blue bar shows the maximum points that can be earned. And the goal is to put together a strong promo by keeping your tone and topic consistent at each stage in the promo. So let's see if Jinder can do that here. He's got a little bit of yellow. I'm not super pissed off about things going on in WWE, but I am pissed. And I'm not really upset, but I've got some anger in there. I'm not going to flip a lid tonight, but I will get things off my chest. Okay, Jinder, what have you got to say? Apparently he's pissed, but he's not upset. He's got some things to get off his chest. What's he going to say? Oh, we're getting interrupted here. We've got a 2-person promo going on. Sami Zayn with the stage graphics and all, of course. Our spotlight engineers can't be bothered to turn on the lights. Oh, he's even got the nameplate appearing here. 2K, where is this now? This is awesome. Jinder's promo bar went down as well, so this must be like a whole new thing at this point. Okay, so Sami entering the ring, interrupting Jinder Mahal. So let's see what Sami has to say at this point. I like a good talker. It makes things fun. It gives me the chill. It gives me that chill down my spine. And why, you ask? Because when I start hearing silence, I know I've done my job. So I guess it's time I clock in for work, isn't it? Wait, what? I like a good talker. It makes things fun. I don't know what he's talking about. Anyway, Sami Zayn's going to shut up Jinder Mahal. Go ahead, stand out there, scream your lungs out. It makes absolutely no difference to me because when it's all said and done, I'm the best there is and no one can beat me, especially you. Of course, Jinder Mahal, famously Canadian, of course, going against, I don't know, some other Canadian. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. Some very generico, you know, Sami Zayn. This can go any way you want to, buddy. You know how this will play out if you press it. When I get through with you, you're going to go down for a long nap. And when you wake up, your clothes will be out of style. I mean, he's wearing like trunks. I don't think they're overly in style. I don't know if you can hear it over the edit here, but the crowd is popping for this. They are chanting. Yawn, have you finished yet? I'm trying to stay awake over here and you're making it impossible. I think I'm going to have to find a way to get my blood pumping again after listening to that nonsense. Perhaps I'll toss you around for a little bit as a nice warm-up to get into some heavy lifting. Or before I get into heavy lifting. So depending on what you say then, the crowd will pop and they'll cheer and they'll chant and they'll do cool stuff. You know, I never liked you. I've always respected you. And maybe that's my problem. I respected a sorry son of a bitch like you. But now it ain't about respect no more. It's about teaching you a lesson. And you see the blue bars in the top there, which is their maximum performance they could have gotten. A fight with you sounds great, but I have a dentist appointment in the morning and those can get pretty expensive and I don't want to risk any additional costs, you know. So maybe later we can fight as long as it works with my calendar. I'm a busy guy, you know. Sounds like Jinder's trying to get out of a fight here. Sami is raring and ready to go and Jinder's saying no. You can try and avoid this all you want, but I'm not going to let you slip away. I've got you in my sights. I've pulled the bow back, and all I need to do is let go. I can't believe, like, Sami is doing a better promo by the bars, but Jinder has, like, a better earnings potential, I get, or because the blue is the maximum and Jinder's closer to the maximum. I think Jinder's now doing a better promo. I know what your intentions are, but that doesn't mean it's going to happen. As a WWE superstar, I control who I step in this ring with, not you. I'm sure you'll be unhappy to hear this, but I don't want a match against you. I don't know if Jinder knows this, but Sami Zayn is also a WWE superstar. Unless maybe that's like a, oh, you're NXT, so I don't like you kind of thing. I'm not really sure. I'm tired of having to prove myself again and again, especially to punks like this. After everything I've accomplished, I'm the greatest WWE superstar there ever has been, better than you and better than anyone. Of course, Jinder Mahal is the 50th world champion in WWE, or the 50th WWE champion in history. And that's the end of the promo. They just cut, I think the crowd just cut him off, or the production cut him off. I think Jinder won the promo though. So the promo results screen shows the points you've earned at the end of the stage of your promo. Each time you match the tone and topic from your previous step, your score increases. To get a perfect promo, you must maintain the same tone and topic for all steps of the promo. So that you can see the rankings for each step of the promo. So there were 5 steps, and Jinder was able to just clutch the end there, but Sami got the lower scores overall. So Jinder won the promo battle, which is, to think that Jinder would have won a promo battle over Sami Zayn is unheard of. I don't know who booked that shit, but it wasn't me. Well, that really is it for 2K18. There is no showcase mode. There is a little bit of a story mode, and there obviously is very little improvements to universe mode. So let's just dive into whatever our next match is. And of course, I've seen it on the main menu, so I thought I'm going to pick it here. WrestleMania 33, I believe. Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg, with my little twist being that this is a Hell in a Cell match. And, you know, I was just talking to was it Kenny Bomb in a podcast about 2K25, and in 2K25 I fully agree with him. The Hell in a Cell match, you can't see shit. The cage is just in the, well, it used to be bright red and it's just completely in the way, and it doesn't fade anymore. But in this game, the cage fades. Like, I can see everything that's going on. Also, the cage looks massive. I don't know if it's still that big in the game now, but Goldberg immediately grabbing a chair at the start of this match is also such a power move. Maybe this match would have been better if it actually was a Hell in a Cell match. Not that it was inherently terrible or anything, but yeah. And we're going to see a little bit of the new crowd system as well. So you can see the crowd is pretty packed, to be honest. The camera angle is really high here, so it just looks like it's just a sea of people. But I'm guessing that their animations are going to play up as this match continues. I am pretty sure this is still the crowd system that's in the game, because I do recognize the character models in the fan area. I don't know why I said in the audience. I recognize the models, so the models must still be in the game now. I mean, generally all they really do is like change the t-shirts in the crowd anyways, so that it features more recent characters. So Goldberg and Brock here fighting over a steel chair. Who would have thought that these two people would be fighting over a steel chair in a Hell in a Cell match? I don't know how you get out the cage in this game. I assume it's from the boring old break down the side of the cage wall situation, but I really wish they would add in like the door. Having to break down the wall every time with a finisher and stuff is really boring, so I hope that they do change that in the future. I mean, Goldberg calling for the spear already. That's, oh man, he actually hit it. That chair has done the damage now. The spear to Lesnar. Oh no, the spear was only a signature. Oh, and Brock Lesnar blocking the jackhammer suplex. So Goldberg gonna have to go back to the drawing board here as Lesnar gets in the upper hand. I think he's going to reverse this as well. You see the crowd now, crowd up on their feet. So that is obviously part of the new crowd system. They will actually start reacting to things going on in the match. They'll get up on their feet, they'll get hyped. They'll start chanting, clapping based on what's happening here as well. I think the finisher reversal really put them in. Oh man, huge belly to back suplex, overhead belly to back suplex. I think Brock's got a finisher though. I think Brock is obviously not getting the momentum here, but I think he has a finisher. So if he was able to get the upper hand here, he'd probably be able to hit an F5 out of nowhere. Goldberg with an arm bar. You know, the man with 1,000 holds over there. Of course, Goldberg well known for his submission holds. Brock, oh, Goldberg going for some sort of like power slam, but Brock able to reverse again. This story of this match now is that Goldberg is laying on the offense, but Brock is able to get out of the big moves. He's been able to avoid these major moves like the finishers, like the jackhammer, like the power slam. But Brock's been unable to capitalize up until this point. So as I was saying before, I think he has an F5, and I think he's calling for it here when Goldberg is up on his shoulders and he's being swung around for the F5, hitting the edge of the ring. That could be it, as the referee counts for... Oh, no, he counts for a 2 count. Goldberg kicks out. The crowd is obviously reacting and moving and stuff like that. They are not the loudest, though. I would have thought they'd be a little bit louder. Maybe my audio's a little quiet, but I assure you as well that Michael Cole, Corey Graves, and Byron Saxton do a much better job than I do at commentary. I'm not a professional commentator. I'm just trying to be a YouTuber, which is not the same. But I don't want competing voices in the video, so I've muted them. but bear in mind that honestly their commentary system in this game is actually pretty good. Brock Lesnar and Goldberg taking the action outside of the ring. I was hoping we were going to get some cool action there, but I don't think we are, as Goldberg had Brock up for the military press, but Brock able to reverse again, going into that, wow, German with the bridge, which is very unlike Brock Lesnar to do that. Not the German, the bridge part. It's not like Brock does not hold on to moves, he just throws you unforgivingly. Although, talking of Germans and throwing people unforgivingly, Brock here with the second of a trio of German suplexes, going for the third, landing it, which I think is his signature. So he's either going to go for the pinfall here, or he's going to lift Goldberg and try and hit that F5. Although Goldberg able to reverse into a jackhammer. That was actually really cool. And Brock not able to reverse, which means that he's been brought down for that jackhammer. But is one jackhammer enough to take Brock Lesnar down? It's not. Brock Lesnar just kicking out at the last millisecond there, potentially using his resiliency, potentially using his finisher to kick out of that huge jackhammer. I guess one system I quite like is that Goldberg's worked up quite the sweat here. Brock not looking so sweaty, not so swatty, but Goldberg definitely working up a sweat here as he goes for a fall-away slam from the middle rope. Don't know why. Oh, going for a running elbow drop there. I probably would have went for the pin off the fall-away slam personally, but oh, I thought Brock was maybe lining up for an F5 there, but Brock able to get out of the ring. Again, I think he's got a finisher, but he's not been able to. Oh, never mind. Oh, Goldberg reversing the F5. Can he reverse it into anything that Goldberg can use to win here? I don't know what. Oh man, that kind of pump handle fall-away slam there. Goldberg going to the corner potentially for another spear. He did hit the first one. The second one is more than likely to take Brock down here. And it does. Brock unable to get the reverse. So Goldberg hitting the second spear. Is he going to go for the pinfall off of that though? He doesn't. He's actually going to throw Brock around a bit more. And he's teeing him up for the jackhammer. I have absolutely no doubt at this point that if Brock gets nailed by this jackhammer, and he doesn't reverse it, he gets put down with authority. Goldberg winning the Hell in a Cell at WrestleMania. God damn. I mean, that match was so much better than 2K17, so if you're going to tell me that 2K18's AI is vastly improved, I would believe you, because, man, that match was actually really fun to watch, as opposed to the 2K17 match, which was just painful. That's going to be us for today. I hope you enjoyed this look back at WWE 2K18. I think for the most part, it's actually a relatively solid game. It definitely needs more game modes, and I think this is a running trend for the next couple years, that although we have the My Career mode, doesn't really have enough substance. And I know we didn't really look at it in this video, but it's just, I don't remember them very fondly, so I never really think of them when I think about great video game or WWE video game storylines. But maybe it's worth a second try. I had no idea that there was a free roam mechanic in the game, so maybe we can actually go back to it and see what kind of career progression was it like in this game. Gameplay wise, I think the game's totally fine. I had a lot of fun watching those two matches, to be honest, and the Goldberg Brock Lesnar match especially was really fun. And the promo system was also really good, so I don't know why. You know, I appreciate the fact that we got the promo system in 2K25 as DLC, but it's one of those things where I don't really know why they took it out in the first place. Like, I understand that the writing isn't very good, and they're never going to be in a position where they can use AI voices to do what you really want them to do. But, like, it's fine. I think it's perfectly fine for what it is. It definitely gets docked points for the lack of a showcase mode, though. But with that being said, that is WWE 2K18. Let me know down in the comments below if you enjoyed 2K18 and if it was one of your favorite games or if it's one of your least favorite games. Likewise, you can also let me know if this is one of your favorite videos or your not favorite videos by giving it a like or a thumbs down to let me know what you thought of the video and whether I'm doing good stuff or bad stuff. Also, if you check the links down below, I have links to Patreon, Discord, or any of my social medias if you want to hit me up, have a conversation. But regardless, I reply to almost every comment down below anyway, so let me know what you thought of the video. That's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day. Bye for now.